Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to do all the setup for our GraphQL environment. I have created a folder here that you can see like skill store. I have named it in such a way like we can create some example for e-commerce application. So for now, like in this application, our focus will be on like setting up server and starting files and everything. So like to create a Node.js application, we first need one package here. So we'll be using npm package manager to initialize our package. So what I'm gonna do here is like I will be using npm init. I will use switch yes. So what it does is like if I don't use this, it will ask a couple of questions to me, and I will have to like write those questions. For now, like I will just skip, and if I use yes, it will skip all the questions, and what it will do is like it will fill the default values which is required there. I'm gonna add one thing here, the module. So if you are like aware, you might be aware about JavaScript. So if I use module, so then I can use import export statements of the ES6. Okay, so once we have done this setup of the packages and our Node.js server is, the Node.js package is initialized. Now what I can do is like I can install the required dependencies. So some of the dependencies, let me just type the dependencies and then I can tell you like why I'm installing them. So the first will be like the GraphQL, and this GraphQL itself, and then like I will use Apollo server. Okay, and then I'll have to use one GraphQL tag that will be helpful for like understanding the GraphQL syntax. So that will allow our code to like parse it into the understandable code for Apollo server. So let me just install these three first. Okay, for some reason it is throwing error. I have done one typo here. Let me just correct it quickly. So now all these dependencies are installed here, and I'll just clear the console so that you can see the bottom most of the console log share. What I'm gonna do here is like I will be creating one file that is called schema.gql. So this is a special file where I will be writing all the GraphQL related syntaxes. So for example, like I will be writing the base query, that is query, and to just to test, like I will define one field here, greeting, and I'll just make it string. So you don't need to worry about all this right now. I'm just having the default setup, a basic setup, so that I can test whether my server is working or not. Then what I need to do here is like I'll just go and create one folder for the source, like all my files will reside here. So I'll be adding one the base this entry file here, that is index.js. Okay, let me import a couple of libraries here. So I will quickly go and import them. I'll need here uh, Apollo server. Then I need standalone server from here. So I'm getting standalone server from this standalone package. And one thing I need to import is GQL from GraphQL tag. All right. Next, what I'm gonna do is like I need couple of things. So whatever we are writing here is like type definitions. So I need to read this file in some way. So this is just a normal file. Think it's like just a normal file with syntax GQL. Now in order to read this, what I'm gonna do here is like I will be writing a syntax read file async. So okay, we are not getting the suggestion, so let me just import it quickly, and I will import from fs. All right, so this will be read file sync, not async, sorry. So we'll be using the read file sync. So what will happen is like I can provide the file name here. So that is like schema GQL, that is in the root directory. And the second is like options. So there will be passing the encoding, and encoding you can pass it as UTF-8. Now this read file sync will return a string. So what I'm going to do here is like I will wrap this with GQL that I have imported from GraphQL tag, and I will save it. I will into type def variable. All right. I need one object for the resolvers. So I'll create a basic resolver for now. For now, you can just understand it like this is an object and it has a field greeting. So I need to create the variables in the same way. I need to create the property in the same way. So I will just see like this is a query. So I'll copy the query from here. I'll put it here. And now what I can do is like inside the query I see like there's a greeting, so I'll copy the greeting from here. It's a normal JavaScript. It's not these solvers are not GraphQL syntax. It's normal JavaScript. So here what we'll do is like we'll return a function. I mean we'll use a function definition, and from function we need to return whatever things we want to pass it as a response. So let me just type hello for now. Now since our type depths and resolvers are there, what we can do is like we can create server. To create server, we'll have to create a new instance of server. So we'll be using Apollo server, and we will passing the type depths and resolvers here. Now since our server instance is here, so what we can do is like we'll use start standalone method, and here what we will do is like we'll pass the first parameter as server, and the second parameter listen. That this is a configuration. Here the one property is listen, and under listen we'll have to pass port, and this port we can put anything like 8080, and this is a like asynchronous task, so we'll have to await it. So how did I know like it is returning a promise? This also returns a property called URL. So I will be destructuring the URL from here. Now what I can do is like I can just console log the server some text so that I can know like whether my server is running or not. All right. Now before I start this server, what I can do here is like I will have to set up a script. The script will be responsible for running our server. So in under the script in package.json I can write start, and here I will type node. So node is like a command that is a CLI that we will be using to run, and will give the path of the file, that is src index. So how we are going to give it is like src index. Okay, let's try to run this and see if it is working or not. As you see like the server is running, we are getting the same console log which we wrote it here. What I will do is like I will copy this URL. I will go in terminal and I will try to open the same URL and see like what is happening. So here you can see like a GraphQL playground is we can see a GraphQL playground. So also like you are saying this field which we defined here in schema. So whatever we will define here will appear in our playground as a documentation. Now what I can do is like to query this. What I'm going to do is like I will just type query and I will write greetings, and then what I can do is like I can just run it. Now you'll see I'm getting this data. So far like uh, our setup is done. So we have also seen like how we can run a basic query. So in next video we'll start with some use case and we'll start defining some real queries and we'll create some resolvers. Till then, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.